Okie dokie, it seems like a good time for a wee discussion here, so let's go ahead and have at her. As you can probably tell if you've watched any of my videos, I am very transparent, and that is definitely done intentionally. Clearly this world would be a much better place if every individual on it were transparent and not having some sort of nefarious motive, whether it be known to them or not, right? Basically, governments, for example, they're all criminals in my opinion. Anyone you see on TV, for that matter, anyone that's got any amount of, wealth, definitely all criminal, all nefarious. You don't become a billionaire by following the law, that's for absolute certainty. So where am I trying to go with this? Like I said, governments, I don't trust them at all. I've never voted in my life. I never will vote. Democracy does not exist. That's clearly a myth, just part of the narrative. So what I'm trying to get at is, are these politicians actually evil people? Or have they just been, indoctrinated and brainwashed to the point where they actually believe that they're doing good for humanity? This is something I always ponder. Very hard to tell. And yeah, I do apologize. I don't look back at the camera all that often, but I am kind of sightseeing and getting bitten by mosquitoes and sailing with my foot right at the moment, so just bear with for not having me look at the camera. So yeah, governments, are they actually, nefarious criminals trying to kill us? I don't really think that's their intention. It could very well be. I have no clue. It's 100% apparent that they're not elected, they're selected. These individuals, your Trudeaus and your Trumps and your Bidens, or whoever the heck the puppets are at this current time, they're bred from childhood. They're generally belong to rich families that got there by doing nefarious things, in my opinion. Obviously I shouldn't even have to state that these are my opinions, but who knows what the YouTube overlord truth department is gonna do as far as not allowing my content. But yeah, so this is something that I often do ponder, are these people actually trying to destroy us, or are they just so goddamn brainwashed that they believe that they're trying to help us? I sort of think they're just, just like everybody easily falls for the globe, right? It's when you're raised with something, when you're brought up your entire life, and you believe something to be true, then, it becomes truth, right? So I kind of get the feeling that these selected officials that ultimately become in power of countries which shouldn't even exist, I think I've kind of stated that before. I just think they're ultimately just extremely indoctrinated, and just for, whatever reason, just like all y'all that still believe that you're living on a magical space ball. I was there, I believed it. So, Mark Sargent says this one quite often, and it's a great example. So the movie The Village, M. Night Shyamalan, whatever his name is, if you've never seen that movie, I suggest watching it. It's a good film. Most of his work is actually, I do believe I've seen every film he's made. But The Village is definitely a good example of, the believing the world that you're presented. And I kind of think that's, these idiot law enforcement agencies that, tell me that I wasn't assaulted when I clearly was, and, politicians that are telling you to put a diaper on your face. I'm not sure that they're actually doing it with evil intentions. It's just they believe the world that's been presented to them. And unfortunately, Well, law enforcement we'll just touch on that right now. It's no secret that they hire people based on low IQ. That's mainstream knowledge. They don't want police officers that can actually think for themselves, because then they would not arrest so-called criminals, obviously. And geez, the wind is going really not as expected right now. And yeah, these let's take Mr. Our newest dictator, Trudeau. I guess before I get any further with Trudeau, I'll just mention that IQ is a complete sham. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that before, but I only bring it up because it, is kind of accepted at this day and age, and it is part of the, hiring policy for any sort of law enforcement agent. But if you actually do some research on IQ, it has nothing to do with intelligence. It's really just aptitude more so, or whatever. I'm getting way off topic, but so Mr. Dictator, what's his name there? Trudeau. All these other dictators, as I said, democracy does not exist. There is no election process. You're sadly mistaking if you think your vote has any, outcome. So basically, what I'm trying to the question that I'm asking here is Trudeau, is he one of these few that control the world? I would say absolutely not. They're kind of raised as puppets. They're going to be the public figure to take the criticism. But aside from that, I don't think they have any power at all. They do as they're told. My firm belief is that there is a group of who knows how many people that are, ruling the whole world at this point in time. And each country has their own kind of puppet in place to, well, basically to create some division. The big goal of all these actors that you see on TV, a lot of it is just creating that left and right divide to keep the people fighting amongst themselves rather than overthrowing the governments, which we really should be doing, especially now. I mean, the world is going completely to shit at this minute in time, and it has been for the last year. If that's not obvious to you, I mean, you're not watching the right channel, first and foremost, but it really should be obvious to you. These selected officials, they have no concern whatsoever for human, life or, the advancement of human life. Let's look at all the money wasted on these so-called space programs. I mean, nobody's going to space. Nobody ever will go to space. Space does not exist. Yet we throw billions and billions and billions of dollars towards space. Why aren't we exploring the oceans? Why are kids in Africa starving? Why do lots of populations across the world not have access to water? All these things that just inflate our economy and devalue our dollar, right? Space travel, you name it, all these crazy, who even knows where our tax dollars go? They clearly don't go back to us. Yeah, it's just all one gigantic scam. There's just no other way to put it. Once you sort of realize that, I mean, now again, this is why I kind of ponder and why I'm speaking right at this minute is, do these idiots, me being in Canada, I'll just keep on referring to our dictator Trudeau, does this idiot actually know what's going on and he's going along with it? Or is he actually just brainwashed to the point where he thinks he's doing humanity, good? You got me. That's why I'm having this discussion at this moment. It is, well, it's an interesting topic anyways. Just trying to kind of get myself pointed more windward here at the minute. Slow and steady as I go. So yeah, I don't know, just kind of ponder those thoughts, I guess, and see what you think about them. But that's kind of the way I see things. Basically, I stayed there in Cortez Bay, right behind us, you know, long enough to get caught up on YouTube videos at least. The footage that the propaganda control at Censorship Tube decided to not allow me to air, I did sort of start to go through and try to edit out, but I mean, they wouldn't even tell me what, you know, I asked them to provide me a timestamp as far as what they feel was violating their policies, so I could at least just, you know, quickly edit it out and re-upload it. But of course, they're not going to make life easy for me, so they wouldn't give me any of that info. They just say, you know, the whole thing is in violation and it's gone. That's all there is to it. So I did sort of start trying to edit through it and eliminate the word that rhymes with Miley Cyrus. I didn't say it all that often, so I kind of am led to believe that there was other words that they were not happy with. It was a long file. It was like 16 gigabytes. And just getting caught up to date here, which I, you know, did over the last however many days I was at Cortez. I think it was 4 days maybe. Yeah, so I got up to date as far as my travels go. That unaired content is, you know, on my computer, but at this point in time, I've used up all my data, you know, unlimited data with TELUS. Here in Canada, the most data anyone can possibly get via cell phone is 50 gigabytes per month. You know, which is another kind of scam. Here, it's unlimited data at normal speeds up until you hit your 50 gigabyte limit, and then they just throttle your speed way the heck back. So at this point in time, I'm at that stage where my data is extremely limited as far as uploads and download speeds. So, you know, to get that video 2 hours long back on air is gonna, you know, that'll be a few days of uploading. So at the present time, I'm not planning on getting that back up. It'll likely just result in a strike anyways. I did try to switch over to Odyssey as far as my content is concerned, but I did learn that Odyssey, in order to sync my YouTube channel, requires 300 subscribers, which I am absolutely nowhere near, as I'm, you know, pretty new to YouTube. So yeah, that's not an option at this point in time, so I do kind of have to stay content friendly for YouTube. So yeah, I think as long as I don't mention certain words, should be okay. I don't think there's any issue with calling Trudeau a dictator. I mean, that's just obvious. So that should be fine and dandy. I'm not worried about that. Mainly they're, you know, or from what they told me in the email anyways, was that I was in direct violation of their their diaper policy, basically, and y'all know what the diaper refers to. So I think diaper is a safe word. I don't even know at this point in time. Guess we'll find out. I should clarify, when I was talking about Trudeau earlier, and I'll probably edit this to be right afterwards, so forget about the earlier part. But anyways, speaking of Trudeau, and one thing that irritates me with a lot of people, and I hope I didn't come across this way myself, is, you know, people will blame Trudeau, or they'll blame Trump or Biden or whoever the actor at the time that's on the television, you know. Wait for the sail to quit flopping around here so you can hear my thoughts. So anyways, what I'm getting at is, you know, it's not the person, it's, you know, if he fails in his mission, that he's, you know, he's acting for this group of individuals that control the world. So if he doesn't do as he's told, they'll just pick the next guy, right? So it's not the person, it's the system. So I just want to make that painfully obvious. You know, you'll never hear me say, you know, fuck Trudeau or fuck Trump, or, you know, why the heck didn't whoever get elected, because, you know, they're all selected, as I was getting at earlier, in my opinion, obviously. So yeah, it's not the person, it's the system, what I'm trying to clarify. So I hope that makes sense.